a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown. Get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it.
Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? Welcome to a quick Phillies post-game show. Obviously, Phillies do take game one of this 3-game set over the most abysmal team that's in the MLB. That is the Oakland A's. Before we get into it, if you guys are new, definitely hit that like button, definitely hit that subscribe button, and definitely ring that notification bell so you guys will not miss any streams like these. That being said, let's just jump right in. So, I mean, Phillies did it again. Got the job done when it really needs to, especially coming to this one. Like I said, taking 3 or 4 from the Diamondbacks, coming to this one, taking game one with ease. Because let's be real, the Oakland A's, it's a sad, sorry excuse for a baseball team. Then again, one can make the argument, yeah, they're going to probably, in a way, just not really do much. Obviously they think we're going to just pretty much just call it quits, go to Vegas is what I'm trying to say. But regardless, what's good, Greg job, what's good, Urku. But I think overall, I'm very impressed with what the Phillies have done so far tonight. I mean, Taijuan Walker, I mean, let's be real, pitched his ass off, 8 innings, 8 strikeouts, no walks, which that's a really good sign, that he has his stuff working. Schwarber with the leadoff homer. He had JT with the solo shot. Alec Bohm showing some power to left, pulling up for the 2-run shot, and also with an RBI single as well. To really increase this lead to 5-1. And there's a lot of things that I really did like about this. I think overall, it was a good team win. Yes, I mean, you had some guys that, a guy like Pache coming back from that knee injury, a little bit rusty, but let's be real, has made some great defensive plays. Obviously, chased down a ball that had pretty much written. If we didn't have like a speedy center fielder out there, definitely was extra bases. Like I said, there's a lot of things you can really point out that the Phillies have done right. Yes, and people are going to sometimes they're going to, I would say, not really do much with how Pache has been at the plate, and you got to give him a bit of a slack for that because he was just coming off a knee injury, and there's a lot of things that, well, I don't think there's really not one negative you could probably say. Yes, now granted, yeah, there are times where Walker does give up hits, but what pitcher doesn't? So, not really that much of a big issue with that. But it also goes on to show that a guy like Walker, at times can be somewhat inconsistent, I will say. But this last 7 starts, or last 6 starts, has a 1.75 ERA in his last 6 starts. Coming to this one, gives up 1 run through 8 innings of work. You really can't ask me much more out of that from Taijuan Walker. Harper's getting close to, let's be real, connecting on a few. Just not really, I would say, just kind of missing the barrel, I would say. But regardless, I mean, I really like what this team has done. JT, obviously did an okay night at the dish with a solo homer, but could have asked a little more amount out of him. Now it's kind of annoying that Stott didn't get a chance to play because obviously I don't know why Thompson ever wants to play him or not play him, especially with have a guy like Josh Harrison at second, because let's be real, it's not great. But regardless, I'm like I said, and all in all, Phillies take game one. Ty Walker really pitched really. I mean, just really was fantastic through 8 innings of work. So it looks like maybe tomorrow is definitely Christopher Sanchez. Right now, that's not really confirmed at the moment. But if it is Christopher Sanchez, I'm not really too worried about it in the way that I say it, because, I don't think Christopher Sanchez is as bad as people think he is. And that's the thing too. Like, he could be a decent number 5 when his stuff is on. Which I do think you will, especially if a team like Oakland, who, like I said, is not the greatest. I mean, if you looked at some of the players they got, Shea Langeliers, very solid catcher. I mean, I will give him that. You got Ramon Laureano still out there. Brett Rooker, who's kind of really, kind of cooled down a little bit. I would say, but outside of that, I mean, you really can't really ask for much especially out of Taiwan Walker tonight. I mean, Harper had a couple hits, which is good to see. Nick with a few hits of his own. I mean, like I said, there's really not one negative, outside that unfortunate double play on the base pass, which, it's whatever. You can move on from that. But I think overall, I'm actually really impressed how this team has come off, especially, like I said, coming off that series against the Diamondbacks, taking 3 or 4. Now, actually taking care of business as usual against the Oakland Athletics, winning 6-1 easy. And, it's, you really can't really ask more out of this team, especially at this point before the All-Star break. But, I mean, let me see something really quick. I mean, Taiwan Walker now moves to 7-3 on the year, with his ERA right now dropping to a 4.31. But I think overall, I mean, like I said, right now the biggest bright spot besides the offense is Taiwan Walker. Taiwan Walker pretty much kept this team in this game, even when they were winning. We've seen this sinker going up to 95 miles an hour. With a nice little cutter, occasional curveball. I just got the splitter working too, and that's another thing too that I've really kind of always liked about Taiwan Walker. It's like he knows how to mix and match his pitches, especially when the stuff is on. Something a guy like Aaron Nola should take notes, because for those who have seen the last post game I've done, he just wasn't sharp. I mean, like I said, in terms of the top performers, you had Bohm went 2 for 4 with homer, 3 RBIs. Walker 8 innings, 7 hits, 1 run. And that might get changed with 8 punch outs. As sure Ruiz, like, the kid's going to be something special with the Athletics. With 2 for 4 with a double RBI and 2 stolen bases, I think he's going to be I think he's definitely going to pretty much lead I would say steal 70 bags the way that it's looking. In terms of the team comparison, 6 runs, 7 hits, 3 homers, 16 total bases. Unfortunately, we left 2 men on base, which sometimes that's good, sometimes it's not, depending on who you're asking along. And damn. Okay, well, and outside of that, and look at the Athletics, though. 1 run, 7 hits, 9 total bases, 2 stolen bases, which were the outs. Yeah, but then again, we didn't really need to rely on the stolen bases. I mean, we just did the old-fashioned way, and that's the one thing that's, I'm kind of impressed that the Phillies have done, especially on this 4-game winning streak. And try to crawl their way back into this division, and definitely try to see if we can try to get a wild card spot, which is early in the wild card race. Now, obviously, with the Phillies winning, now at the currently we have to see the final result between the Giants and Dodgers, which the Giants right now are holding that final wild card spot by a game and a half, which that might change when the Dodgers win. And looking at the standings overall, terms of the wild card, so we can just skip the American League. Oh, hang on. Give me a wild card, please. Thank you. So right now, in terms of the wild card, you have the Dodgers, the Miami, and right now, San Francisco. So that's gonna, with the Dodgers win tonight, drops the Phillies deficit in the wild card to half a game. Now, obviously, expected, yeah, and all that. But I think overall, Schwarber, let's bro got the part, like I said, got the party started. Let's bro, the first pitch he sees takes him right into the seats. Now, granted, yes, that ballpark, well, let's be real, not much with a lot of space, but it just looks like a dump from what I've seen. And look, I haven't really, I can't say I've been there, but I've heard a lot of terrible, like negative stuff on Oak.co, or was it Ricky Henderson Stadium, or where the fuck they call it now. But I think overall, this team has, probably some really good at bats, which is something that's been, I would say, a knack. But a lot of times, some of those Phillies fans would nitpick because sometimes our bats can be horrible for some games. But one time we go on a winning streak, we put up some great at bats. How to draw walks and stuff like that. But I do think overall, I'm very happy with this team, even though I do, for those who follow me on social media, which is going to be linked down below. Yeah, that is true. Let's be real, they're not even trying at this point, Arku. They want to get out of Oakland as quickly as they possibly can. That's the thing. And that's the thing too, where I will touch on this for a little bit. Look, I don't think the fans deserve the city of Oakland, the A's leaving, but that can't. Yeah, that reverse boycott, and you can tell like this team and these fans, well, most of the fans, are kind of fed up with it. The city has not done nothing much to help them, and obviously John Fisher, who, from what I've been reading about, is super cheap, and obviously and obviously I'm with him. I do think the Oakland A's need better ownership. I'm not kidding. That's something that's, in a way, is ridiculous to see. And, and at some point, if you're an Oakland A's fan, like, how much longer do you have to put up with cheap ownership? You got rid of guys like Matt. I talked about this, I think earlier. I touched on it a little bit in my Philly Stop podcast earlier this afternoon, that you already traded away guys like Sean Murphy, Matt Chapman, Matt Olson, some of your star players. And it's like, what the hell is basically what I'm saying. It's like, Brady, what the hell is going on with the A's? It's really sad to see of how a team like the A's just, the city doesn't care about them. Why do you? And see, this is why a lot of times I think Vegas is going to be such a winner in terms of the sports teams that they have. Well, except for the Raiders, but that's a whole different entire story. It's another day. But that being said, a good win by the Phils. Let's be real. It's kind of been obviously expected. We got Christopher Sanchez on tomorrow, which is, like I said, it's not really confirmed as of right now, even though they have him on the roster, but not really on the active roster, just because, they had to make some moves in order to put him on the active roster. And the fact that, it's, what are you going to do? And let's see. Yeah, that I've noticed, but you have to take into consideration that they're going to try to go to Vegas. And honestly, I don't blame them, because let's be real. I think they can draw. I think they can do boot. If I'm going to have to speak into the future, I really do think they're going to have some more success out in Vegas, because I feel like, stuff is going to be. I do think they're going to draw a lot more. And bring in more fans as well, because let's be real, the city, like I said, you could blame the city and blame the ownership, has not done much for this team. It's going to look, from what I've seen renderings, yeah, it looks like it's going to be an indoor one, kind of like how like the Rogers Center is. But outside of that, I don't even know what else to say. And it's been kind of sad if you think about it for the Oakland A's, who has what, 2 World Series championships. Yeah, they were probably both back in the 70s and the 80s when you had guys like Ricky Henderson, Reggie Jackson at during that time. Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's what I've been hearing from a lot of people. But at the end of the day, the Oakland A's and their fan base deserve a lot better within people are looking at this. Look, being a Phillies fan, yeah, sure. And look, we know this. We had them in Philly for quite a while. I think a lot of people tend to forget before the Phillies were even came into existence, we had the Athletics before they moved on to Kansas City, led to 1968, go to Oakland, and and we had the Phillies ever since then. I think a lot of times people tend to forget, the history of this franchise stemmed from the Philadelphia Athletics back in the day. We had Connie Mack's a manager. I think we played at Shy Park. I think it was. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But regardless, I think overall, it's just not great if you're, especially an Athletics fan. But what am I to say? Because we really have not really had those kind of years in terms of disappointments. Yeah, sure, we had a decade-long drought of not making the postseason, but I still think the fact that it's ridiculous at this point. With that being said, like I said, I'm not going to be in here for too much longer. Yes, like I said, the Phillies get the job done, 6-1. They're going to be back at it again tomorrow with Christopher Sanchez on the bump. If he pitches well, the offense can do what they did tonight. Take care of business as usual in game 2. Should have no problems taking game 3. Got Zach Wheeler on the bump. And that being said, let's just hopefully we can sweep out the Oakland A's and continue this winning streak going forward. But with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.